Hey, tburrier from tburrier.com, and today we're going to talk about your advantage that you might not even know about, right? You're like, what does that mean? All right, so let me give you some context. If you follow me at all, then I've shared at some point that you've heard, when I started, I was an introvert, still an introvert, but you wouldn't know it because of the skills that I've been able to develop by doing this for so long. I had no money, didn't come from money, non-confrontational personality, all that stuff, right? So those would seem like disadvantages, but they weren't. They were huge advantages. And so let me give you a little more context that doesn't come from me. And actually, this is a book suggestion. Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book called David and Goliath, which is a fabulous book. I strongly recommend it. But the nature of this book is all about how the perceived disadvantage is actually an advantage. And so there are many different things that he unveils in there that are really so interesting. But one of them that is a really good poignant lesson for here was dyslexics. He talks about dyslexics. And, dyslexic makes it very challenging for someone. If dyslexic and they're in school, then they don't learn the same way, right? They have difficulty reading, have difficulty doing lots of things. So it's really a struggle for them. Yet historically, the percentage of people that have dyslexia who go on to become incredibly successful in whatever field of endeavor they choose is way higher than the normal population. Like, how can that be? And there's a lot of famous people. If you can just do some research on that, you will find tons of famous people that were dyslexic and still are dyslexic. The reason is because that challenge that they had through school made it very hard for them, right? Very challenging, very difficult. The whole process, school was just a nightmare for them. But what did they learn from that? They learned how to overcome difficulty. You see, when they got out into their field of endeavor, what other people would consider mind-boggling challenges, they're just like, this is just part of it. This is just everyday life for me, right? So they didn't see challenges in the same way. They were conditioned to struggle through something. So what one person would perceive as really difficult, they'd be like, that's a walk in the park. I could do that, right? I mean, think about that, because they were conditioned for that. And so the same thing was for me, right? My introversion ended up being my advantage, because introversion, right, while it might make it hard to initiate a conversation, once you're in one, you're focused on the other person, which makes that other person want to talk to you, which in our work is fabulous, right? Not having any money, I had nothing to lose, right? So that was okay with me, right? So I didn't worry about losing anything. I was working on gaining something, right? And in a business that didn't require it. So there's just two things that were disadvantages for me that were advantages. So the question is, what's yours, right? What is yours? What is your perceived disadvantage that actually makes you better, that positions you to succeed? You see, what happens when you work through that is you create a powerful story. A powerful story. You realize that nobody gives a daggone about the success to success story, right? If you were like, well, my life was great and everything I ever did turned to gold, and then I started this business and boom, it became successful. Do you think anybody cares about that? No. They were like, oh, great, good for you. Hope you get hit by a bus or whatever, right? They're not going to be happy with you. And so understand that your struggles, right, your challenges create inspiration for others. Not only do they make you better, but it becomes inspiring for other people because you're going to share that story, right? It becomes your platform of attraction. And I'll just tell you this, whatever your struggles are right now, I can promise you that there are millions of people that would trade places with you. Right? They would trade places with you and say, please, I would love to have those struggles as opposed to my struggles, right? I mean, actually, it might be billions of people. Probably is when you consider the world and the developed nations, and, more of the world is underdeveloped, right? So more people would trade places in a heartbeat. And so remember this, you have all you need. All your imperfections that you don't like, they're just what make you unique. You also have lots of cool stuff that is what you're meant to use. So you're not missing anything. And so remember that your disadvantages are actually advantages. They're making you better, and they're helping you to create the story that will inspire others to be part of you, right? To want to work with you, want to be a part of what you're doing, and to think that to understand that they can do more in life. Isn't that cool? I mean, that's really cool. So do the work and be thankful. Be thankful. I know I can be thankful. Right? I know it's not like this. I didn't wake up in the morning and go, thank God I'm an introvert. I didn't wake up in the morning and go, thank God I don't have any money. Right? I didn't wake up like that. So I'm not giving you a false pretense that I enjoyed having to do those struggles. That's not true. But I sure am glad I went through them now. And so will you be. So they're making you better. I hope this was helpful. If you haven't subscribed to my blog yet, please do, and get your 27 phrases at work. And make sure that you share this. And shoot me a comment down below or ask me a question. And I promise you, I will respond back to you. And I appreciate you being here. Have a great rest of your day.